good morning, depending on where you're calling in from. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome each and every one of you to this evening's call. Welcome to Conversations on Success. And I am Deanna Nilsen, calling out of Loveland, Colorado, to have a conversation with you this evening. I am very honored. I am humbled to be with you this evening, and I'm going to just dive right into some information. I want to talk to you this evening about life and organo. And because I think life and organo is intertwined, and sometimes doing things for one benefits the other. So tonight I want us to, we're going to kind of follow an outline of the 4 agreements. Now, some of you may be familiar with the 4 agreements. That's awesome. And some of you may not. So what we're going to do is just go through some information together and have a casual conversation. Number one, I want you guys to understand that this conversation that I'm having with you is not a conversation on perfectionism. I think one of the things that we get hung up on is attempting to be perfect before we do something. So I want you to cancel that out right away, because this is not one of those conversations. So let's talk about the first agreement. The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Now, how in the world, some of you are thinking, what does this have to do with my business? What does this have to do with organo? My response to that would be, it has everything to do with your business. It has everything to do with your income. It has everything to do with your life. So, because if you're not impeccable with your word, how can you ever build trust with someone? How can you ever build confidence with another person that you are someone they can actually follow? And just in life in general, in your relationships with people, you must be impeccable with your word. And a lot of you, I believe, on the phone think, well, I'm impeccable with my word. I do pretty good there. I think this is harder. It's easier said than to be done. I think it's something that we all need to work on every day and follow through on our word. One of the things that I know is one of the most important people to be impeccable with your word is yourself. You need to honor yourself enough to keep your word to yourself and do what you say you're going to do. And I know for myself, when I tell myself, oh, I'm gonna do this. So let's talk about life. I'm gonna really eat clean. I'm gonna eat good. And then I don't. I feel horrible inside. I feel horrible about myself when I don't keep my word to myself. Or when I say, you know what, I'm going to do an hour of power every day. I'm going to read my self-development or listen to my self-development every morning. And then 3 days go by and I haven't done it. And the thing about it is, other people may not know that you haven't kept your word to yourself. But you know, and it feels awful. It feels so bad. And some of us think, well, doesn't matter, nobody knows. The thing about it is, in life and in our organo business, if you feel bad because you didn't keep your word to yourself, or you feel angry or depressed or upset because you ate that piece of cake and you said you wouldn't, or you didn't exercise and you said you would, or you didn't sample those 2 people a day and you said you would, or you didn't show the plan and you said you would. Inside, you feel bad about yourself. And if you're mad or angry or upset, that creates a certain vibration and a certain energy that comes from you. And that's actually what people feel anyway. They feel what's coming from you. So this agreement, the very first agreement, I believe is so incredibly important. And the thing about it is, you won't be perfect at keeping your word, at being impeccable with your word to yourself or to others. But if we're aware enough that this is something that we need to do, We need to make the 4 agreements with ourselves and be aware that keeping our word to ourselves, it creates trust and confidence with other people. And being impeccable with your word also helps you create self-disciplines in your life, which is everything. I mean, without self-discipline, I don't think we grow. Without self-discipline, we are not someone that someone else can follow. And so as you follow with me this evening on our conversation, I want you to think about how you can keep this first agreement, how you can implement this first agreement. How can I be impeccable with my word? Maybe starting this evening. Maybe starting first thing in the morning. Maybe it's making those phone calls that you need to make, that you said you would make a week ago. Maybe it is starting your day with your hour of power. And for those of you on the line who say, you know what, I'm so busy, I just don't have an hour. I think that we cannot not have an hour, even if that means you listen to it on your way to work, you listen to it on your lunch break, you listen to it on your way home, you listen to it. We must always fill our minds, ladies and gentlemen, with things that uplift us and inspire us, because mass consciousness, the world, the news, it's all negative. And we must feel ourselves full of positive and uplifting, powerful things to encourage us so that we can be who we need to be for our world. And part of that is being impeccable with your word. So I challenge each and every one of you on the phone this evening to make an agreement with yourself. From this moment forward, I agree and I make an agreement with myself to be impeccable with my word. I want to speak with integrity. You know, I read a good book that says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And a lot of people, when it comes to gossip and talking about other people in their business, well, you know, so-and-so, yeah, they made it to diamond because it's easy for them, and they've got lots of influence, and, you know, they didn't even really have to work at it. All you're doing is spewing out poison. And the thing about it is, when you gossip about other people, whether it be in your relationships in your life, in your relationships in your business, when you spew out poison, you think it's actually going to hurt the other person, but the only person it actually hurts is you. And I know that each and every one of you on the call this evening, or those of you who will be listening to the recording, I know you guys are winners, or you wouldn't be investing your time to hear a conversation that could possibly give you a golden nugget that could possibly help you get to the next step in your life. And I would like each and every one of you, just commit to be better. Commit that this evening you're going to follow through with your word on something that maybe you didn't this morning that needs to be done before you go to bed, or a phone call, or a friend that maybe you need to reach out to. Also, when it comes to being impeccable with your word, I believe it requires awareness as to not talk about other people. Gossiping, it seems so easy to do and so easy to fall into. I would like to challenge each and every one of us, I'm including myself in here, to be more aware that if we're talking about anyone at all in any instance, it's only to uplift them, to encourage them, and to possibly speak life into other people. So let's move on to the second agreement. Don't take anything personal. Now, this one's a biggie, because I think most of us take things personally when something is said, or when something isn't said, or when something goes our way, or when something doesn't go our way. So he says, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is just a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So what does this really mean in our business, don't take anything personal? Well, I need to, and I believe most people need to gently remind ourselves that everyone is on their own journey. And when you're out there sharing, or when you're out there sampling your product, or sharing a testimony, or sharing the business, and somebody doesn't want what you have to offer. And it hurts sometimes. I mean, literally, it's like, oh, gosh, I mean, I shared and I was out there sampling and they didn't come when they said they would. And we take it personal. I want to ask you a question. So when you're thinking about your business and sharing the product and sharing the business opportunity, excuse me, and somebody doesn't want to be a part of what you're doing or your product, and it hurts you. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were the same person and you're like, I saw this movie and I think it's the best movie in the world. I really think you should watch it. And they watch it. And they tell you, you know what? I don't really like it. Does that hurt you the same way? Oh my God, I didn't like the same movie I liked. No. So why would we take it personal when it comes to our business? And guys, so many of us in life take things personal all the time. When it comes to relationships with your spouse. Well, why did they say it that way? Or a coworker. Oh, why did they look at me that way? Or why didn't they do this? It's not personal. It's not personal, truly. If you can just make this agreement with yourself not to take anything personal and realize that the other people in this world, they're looking through their set of glasses just like you are. And the thing that I love about doing this and reminding myself of this regularly is, especially when it feels personal, like really personal, if I can just remind myself, Deanna, they're looking through their own set of glasses. They have their own set of beliefs. They have their own set of limiting beliefs. They see the world through different lenses than you do. So that way, I can remind myself not to take it personal so it doesn't hurt me. Because as he says here, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Truly, when you take everything personal, you cause yourself suffering. You really do. And when you continue to hold on to that, you also cause other people suffering. Because when you're suffering, other people around you suffer. So I also believe that if you continue in a cycle of taking things personally and not being aware so that we can better ourselves, which is what we're all here for, is to become better people so that we can better ourselves and maybe help someone else on their journey. If you continue to take things personally in this business, you're not going to continue building your organo business. You won't, because it'll be too hard for you. Because not everybody's going to want what you have, as you know. Not everybody's going to welcome you and be excited, even when you're pouring out your heart passionately. And somebody's like, dude, I don't drink coffee. No, I don't drink tea. No, I don't drink hot chocolate. No, 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 no. I don't want anything you have to. If we take all that personal, I'm here to tell you, you will not win in organo. You won't. Because you won't keep going. You won't keep sharing. Because you can't take all that on. But if you can come to the realization that everyone's on their own journey and your responsibility is to be in truth with your word, be impeccable with your word, and don't take anything personal. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about them, where they're at, what they're going through, and you have no idea what someone else is going through. You just don't. So your only responsibility in organo is to share your product, share your business, share the best you that you have with the people that you care about, the people that you meet, and let the chips fall where they may. Another thing that I also know, if you take everything personal in life, you're not going to win in life either, because you'll quit. What do I mean? You won't win in life? You won't be open to other people in your life. You won't be open to all the opportunities that your creator sends your way. Because if you're taking everything personal, it's overwhelming all the time. And there are many, many times, ladies and gentlemen, that I have to remind myself, it's not personal. It's not personal, Deanna. It's not personal. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it feels personal. It hurts and it feels personal. And I just have to remind myself, it's not about me. And it's not about me, not because, man, I'm the bomb, I am the best, I got this all down. It's not about me, they're just messed up. No, well, they may be messed up. But, and yes, I am the bomb. But ladies and gentlemen, we're all just human beings trying to do the best we can here. And the only way we can do better is if we be better. And the only way we can be better is to do better. And so if we can just keep on the lines of, dude, I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to take it personal if I do a meeting for 5 people and nobody signs up. I'm not going to take it personal. It's not me. I presented the information to the best of my ability. It's not me. I'm not going to take it personal when I sample people and they don't respond. It's not me. It's not personal. So let's move on to the third agreement. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. This is a biggie. This is a biggie. Let's see what he has to say. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, to avoid sadness and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Now, I believe that everyone on this call, everyone within the sound of my voice, wants to transform their life for better. And that's one of the reasons you're here. That's one of the reasons you're listening to this conversation. So if we could take this third agreement and apply it to our lives, don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions, and you can completely transform your life. So I'm going to share with you that, to me, it's the most natural thing in the world to make assumptions, and that I'm already making assumptions before I realize that I've made assumptions. So that's why we must be aware. That's why I want to challenge you in a loving, kind way to make these agreements with yourself. Because if you're not aware, you can't change anything. And I make assumptions all the time, and I didn't even realize I made an assumption. And the challenging thing about assumptions is I would guess 99.999% of the time when we're making an assumption, it's a negative assumption. So I'm going to give you an example. Dr. Bob was out here doing a meeting for us the end of June. He did a incredible Saturday meeting and training for us out here in Colorado. And I had invited many, many people. And some showed, some didn't. And but I had these 4 or 5 checkers, just really influential people, very successful people. And they came. One set of them came and absolutely loved everything Dr. Bob was saying. And truthfully, I believe if you have half a brain, you're going to love everything that Dr. Bob has to say, because his knowledge and wisdom is just so incredibly awesome. And they were listening to him, and they were listening to him. And then before the training started, they had to leave. And when I met them outside, they're like, well, you know, we can't sell your product. And I said, I never thought you would. I didn't invite you here to sell my product. I invited you here for the health. Him and I had met, and we probably had maybe 5 minutes of conversation before. And I found out some health challenges in less than 5 minutes of a conversation with him, and that's why I invited him, because they need the health. He desperately needs the health. He's in phenomenal shape. Younger man, you'd never know in a billion years that he had any health challenges, but he does. And I invited him for the health because I know what my product does. Okay, so we're good there. So they said they're going to get with me. They leave, and they sign up in a business. They join to become a part of our team. And I reach out to her. No response. I reach out to her, no response. I'm sure this never happens to you, you know, where you actually reach out to people. They join your business, and you reach out to them, and there's no response. And then you reach out, and there's no response. And then you reach out again, and there's no response. So in my brain, I had also invited another 4 or 5 checker. And he called me just a few minutes before Dr. Bob started and said his wife had done a little bit of investigating research. And he's not interested. in anything that I had to offer him. And I had to bite my tongue because I know that he doesn't know what I know. And I told him, okay, I don't know what your wife found out, but the only reason I invited you here was to hear about the health, because everyone needs the health. Long story short, he didn't come. He let me know he wasn't coming. And he's very, very good friends with the 4 or 5 checkers that did come and did sign up. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, I know what happened. I got this. I know what happened. The 4 checker that didn't come, he probably called these guys that did come and loved the health and joined the business. And he probably told them that his wife had done a little investigating and blah, 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 blah. And so that's probably why she's not getting back with me. And because now she doesn't know and blah, blah, blah. And I was telling myself this whole story, and it was an incredible story, by the way. And I was sold on the story. And then I realized what I was doing. I caught myself. Awareness. You have to be aware. Don't make assumptions. I was like, Deanna, what are you doing? You're assuming all of this. I was getting discouraged. In my heart, I'm like, man, she's not calling me back. She's not calling me back. Oh, I know he probably called her and blah. And I caught myself. And I asked my creator, forgive me, I'm sorry, cancel all that out. If I'm going to assume anything, I'm going to assume the best. And that's not easy to do. I'm going to assume that she's so incredibly busy and she's just can't wait to order, and it's actually very difficult a lot of times to assume the very best. So I made an agreement with myself in this instant, in that moment. I'm not going to assume anything. I release it to you, life force. I'm not carrying this anymore. I release it. I've done my part, done all I can do. I release it to you. Not going to assume. I'm not going to assume. And by the way, I had to keep my guard up because the assumptions wanted to just attack me. Nope, I release it. I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to assume. That afternoon, she called me, apologizing profusely. She said, Deanna, I am so, so sorry that I haven't gotten back with you. My husband's out of town. My son had surgery. I've been working from sun up to sundown, and I am so sorry that I have not gotten back with you. Can you help me order an additional 4 bottles of spores? Why do I share that with you? Because if you think I'm having this conversation with you because I'm perfect or because I got it all together, you're wrong. But I will tell you what I do. I am aware enough to attempt to catch myself before I'm in a downward spiral so that I can stop, regroup, and make a new agreement. Because I want to be successful in life just like you do. I want to be successful in business just like you do. If we can just not make assumptions. How many times do we have someone that walks by us and we're like, oh, brother, what are they thinking? Or you see 2 people talking and they look your way and you're thinking, oh, they're probably talking about me. They're probably judging me. They're probably yellow. And we tell ourselves a whole story that doesn't even, it's not truth, guys. It's not truth. It's lies that we're making. Assumptions are lies, story we're telling ourselves. That's not true. It makes our life worse, makes our business worse, makes our relationships worse. So I would like to challenge each and every one of you to make the 3rd agreement. And don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. And always remind yourself, I don't know. I don't know until I know. I'm not going to assume anything. And if I'm going to assume something, I'm going to assume the very, very best. Let's move on to agreement number 4. The 4th agreement is always do your best. Now, your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply just do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So to me, the self-judgment here, when you don't do your best, also goes back to being impeccable with your word. Because when you're not impeccable with your word, you do judge yourself as well. And you abuse yourself. And you have lots of regrets. So the thing about always doing your best, and I love that your best is not always the same, because it's not. But one of the things that I know is when, kind of like the first agreement, when you don't do your best, sometimes other people are telling you, man, you did so awesome. You're so awesome. And in your heart, you're saying, I didn't even do my best. I didn't do my best. So it doesn't feel good. And always remember that how we feel is the vibration we put out. And that's what people feel is our energy. And I know that there's some of you on the phone tonight or the internet thinking, what does this have to do with business truly? It has everything to do with business. I meet so many people that are like, Deanna, I don't understand why my business isn't growing. I don't understand why my business isn't growing. It's because the energy that they feel from you is not conducive to massive success. And maybe with just a little extra personal development, maybe if you made the commitment to do the 4 agreements, apply the 4 agreements to your life, and just do your best. Maybe if you made the agreement to be impeccable with your work, your business might change. So always doing your best. That way you have no regrets. You can live your life without regrets. One of the things along with doing your best is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. That's one of the reasons, one of the big things. There are quite a few things that I dislike about school, but one of the main things that I dislike about public school is that everybody's supposed to fall in line and be the same. And also that you get punished or humiliated for making a mistake. So we grow up as these precious children, innocent, minds and hearts open, hopefully. And we go to school and maybe we give an answer and it's the wrong answer. And maybe people laugh at us. Maybe the teacher's like, didn't you read? Didn't you read that? Don't you know? Well, obviously, if you knew, the answer would have been correct. Or, you know, when you're in school and you do a paper and you get it back and there's big red X's or a big red F on your paper. And the thing about that is it implants in our brain that, oh, okay, so if I can't do this perfect, maybe I better not do it. If I'm not 1,000,000% of the answer, I'm not going to raise my hand. And it doesn't stop when you're out of school because it is implanted in your brain. And here we are 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, and we're still held back because we don't want a big red X. We don't want someone to laugh at us because we made a mistake. And dear Lord, we sure don't want to fail. I'm here to tell you, if you haven't failed in organo, if you haven't made a mistake in organo, it's because you haven't done anything. If you haven't failed in life, if you haven't made many mistakes in life, it's only because you're not living. It's a part of being human, ladies and gentlemen. And yet we're so afraid of it because it doesn't feel good. I'm here to tell you that always doing your best does not mean you're perfect ever. It just means you're doing your best. And I love that your best is not going to be the same. So I want to share a couple of things with you real quick. So, you know, we like to watch hockey and we like to watch football sometimes, but I want to use a pro athlete team for just a moment as an example because we're talking about truly some of the best athletes in the world. And honestly, I think hockey players are just phenomenal. And they're some of the toughest people in the world in the athletic arena. But let's talk about them for just a second, because one day you watch your favorite team, whatever that may be, and they are awesome. They are on their game. Nothing can touch them. Nothing. Dude, you're hooping and hollering and cheering. Why? Because they are the best of the best. They laid it all out. They are the best. in the world. And then maybe the next game or the next game, you watch those same players who are the best in the world. And you're like, dude, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? You suck. Come on. Come on. Do you know that those same people that are the best in the world went out to play the game to the very best of their ability, just like they did when they were unbeatable? That, I love it. I absolutely love it when that happens, because truly in my heart, it encourages me. I'm like, yes, even the best of the best flat out suck sometimes, because they do, but you always go out to do your best, but your best isn't the same. That's encouraging to me. I want to share with you a few years back, Casey and I, we went to an arena here in Colorado to do a big meeting. And she was doing the meeting and I was sitting in the audience. Now, for any of you who know my daughter, Casey Nilsen Martin, if you've ever heard her speak, in my humble opinion, truthfully, she's one of the best of the best. And I'm not saying it because she's my daughter. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And her gifts and talents that she has spent time, energy, and effort to invest in herself to improve on her gifts that her Creator gave her. Her gifts are speaking. Her gifts are words, for just a few. But so anyway, we're here to do this big meeting. And if any of you have ever heard Casey do a presentation, you know that it's phenomenal. I mean, truly, I get inspired. I hear her talk literally all the time. Did you hear me? All the time I hear her talk. But the funny thing is, when I hear her give a presentation, I get all fired up and inspired and excited, and I'd sign up all over again. So here we are doing a big meeting. She's on stage. And I've heard her do thousands of presentations, incredible presentations. And she's doing this presentation and she's struggling. Oh, dear Lord, she's struggling. She's stumbling over her words. She's off her game. And truly, on stage, in this small auditorium, this little arena we were in, that was a big meeting, she was dying up there. I felt so bad for her. Literally, I wanted her to stop. I wanted her to be quiet, excuse herself off the stage, anything. It was bad. It was really bad. But you know what? She felt bad. When it was all over, she's like, Mom, I was dying up there. I'm like, I know, buddy, I know. But you know what? She went out there to do her best. She went out there to give it her best. This is what I know. When things like that happen to people who aren't daily diving into personal development to be the best that they can be, when things like that happen, they're done. They're done. Why? Because it hurts. It's like, oh my God, I just blew it. Opportunity of a lifetime. All these people. And I gave the worst presentation I've ever given. Okay. You did your best in the moment. That's all there is. Next. What if Casey would have quit? You know, I think about that a lot of times. How many people quit? They quit. They quit on themselves because something happened. It didn't turn out the way they thought it would or the way they thought it should, and they quit. Why? Because it didn't feel good. They probably even felt embarrassed. That's the worst feeling. Oh my God, I embarrassed myself. It doesn't feel good. And I know that probably better than anyone, because dear Lord, when I make a mistake, I wish it was in private, but 9 times out of 10, when I make a mistake or I trip and I fall, it's always public. It doesn't feel good. But this is what I know, because I'm continually working on me. I pick myself up, dust myself off, and I keep going. Feel good or not, here I come. So when I think about what if Casey would have quit after that disastrous presentation, truly, can you imagine what this world would have lost out on. Makes me sad to think about it. Because the thing I know about Casey is with her gift of words, she can change the world. This is what I know about you, whether I know you or not. Your Creator gave you a special gift. My question to you is, are you developing it? Are you investing the time, the energy, and the effort to develop your gift that you were given so that you can be your best, so that you can do your best? See, ladies and gentlemen, as we've all heard before, that the biggest treasures of all lie in the graveyard. How many people quit on themselves because it didn't feel good in the moment, or because they were embarrassed or they failed, and the world missed out on their gifts, their contribution to society. See, guys, you and I, we could have the exact same gift, and it's going to present itself differently because you're different. You're different than I am. I'm different than you are. And a lot of times we think, well, dude, I tried and it just didn't work. Okay. So, how many things have you tried in your life and it didn't work the first time? Be better. Get better. Work on you. Do you good so that you can do you great. One of the mistakes we make is comparing ourselves to other people. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes anyone can make. It's just like when the teenage girls look in the magazines. And you have these women in the magazines that are 6 feet tall and weigh 110 pounds, and then they're photoshopped. I mean, come on. But we present that to the world like that's how women are supposed to look. And I'm here to tell you that real women don't look like that. But if that's what we believe, because we're comparing ourselves, we'll never measure up. So if Casey's gift is speaking and words and teaching and training, and you're comparing yourself with her gifts, and your gifts are connecting with people, your gifts are meeting a stranger, your gifts are making people feel comfortably instantly, but you're not looking at that as a gift. You're only looking at, well, yeah, but I don't present like that. Then the world is going to miss out on the Creator's gifts that he gave you. See, ladies and gentlemen, I don't present like Casey does. I present like Deanna does. She's pretty awesome too, by the way. Just like you are. You see, ladies and gentlemen, just do your best. Just do your best. Just do your best. Because you got it in you. Don't quit on you. Don't quit on you. You've had people that have quit on you in your business, in your life. And they had you ever known somebody who had such potential, so much to offer, and they quit? And you wonder why. Now you know. Now you know. It takes effort to be good. It takes effort to be great. It takes effort to be incredibly, magnificently awesome. And it's worth it all, ladies and gentlemen. Just do your best. Just do your best. So if we could make an agreement, a commitment tonight to apply these 4 agreements to our lives to the very best of our ability, to be aware of when we're out of sync so that we can become better. I promise you, if you apply these 4 agreements to your life will be better. I promise you that if your life is better, you are better, because you can't have a better life if you're not better. If you're better, your business is better. If your business is better, it's all intertwined, guys. Everything is intertwined. It just takes effort and awareness. So let's move on. I've got a couple of other things I want to share with you before my time is up. I love Jim Rohn, by the way. And one of his quotes is, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Now, I know that there's probably some people on the phone or the computer or whatever tonight that's not interested in making a fortune, and that's perfectly okay. I want you to know that I, Deanna Nilsen, am totally about making a fortune. For me, for my children, for my grandchildren, for my great-grandchildren. I'm all about making a fortune for the people who can't help themselves, like all the innocent babies in the world that need help. Somebody needs to help them. I must make a fortune. What does self-education mean? Self-development, like what we've been talking about this whole call. This whole call is about you making agreements with you to do things different, to do things better, so that you can have different things and be better. Because if you're different and you're better, your world is different and the world is better. I want to talk real quick about Bill Britt. Now, Bill Britt joined Amway in 1970. Bill Britt joined Amway 10 years after they got started. Now, if I'm correct, we're about ready to celebrate 11 years Organo being a company. So some of the people that are on the call and some of the people you're sharing it with, they're like, man, you're already almost 11 years old. I wonder if I missed it. Bill Britt joined 10 years after the company started. And it is reported that he earned over $115 million before the internet. Check this out. So he joined in 1970. In 1973, he went diamond. So that's 3 years it took him to go diamond. It took him almost 26 years to go Crown Ambassador. He went Crown Ambassador in 1996. Now, he started 10 years after the company got started, and he built one of the largest Amway organizations in the world. I want to let you know why this is incredible. Because it's like he said, you know, everybody was always asking him, what's the secret? What's the secret? Come on, Bill, what's your secret? What's your secret? And he says, there is no secret. I simply showed the plan to 1,200 people. 900 said no. And only 300 signed up. Out of those 300, only 85 did something at all. And out of those 85, only 35 were serious. And out of those 35, 11 made me a millionaire. Now, I love this, and I go back to this frequently. So like when I'm sampling and following up and following up and following up, and sometimes it's discouraging. It's like, dude, man, I just sampled and I just sampled and I just sampled and I followed up and I followed up and it's not going good and it's not going good. And then you get somebody who's rude, and then you get somebody who's ruder than rude, and you literally feel like you got punched in the gut. I'm like, 1,200 people, 900 said no, 300 signed up, 85 did something, and only 35 were serious. And out of those serious 35, 11 made him a millionaire. I can do that. But this is what I'm here to tell you. We live in a different time now. We have the internet. Guys, we live in a different time. We have coffee. We have health. We have health. In the #1 legal addiction in the world. We can do this. We can do this. We can do it quicker. We can do it easier. We can do it better. And his net worth was $115 million. Now, I don't know about you, but I could use an extra $115 million. by helping other people have a better life. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. Let's move on to Dex Yeager. Dex Yeager, after high school, he sold cars and he sold beer. He sold alcohol. And one of the stories I was reading about him, he said his life got so bad for him that he was drinking over 2 cases of beer a day. Now, I'm not a beer drinker, but that's a lot of beer, 2 cases a day. And he decided that things needed to change when he was introduced to a business called network marketing. And he realized when he got into network marketing that he needed some self-development. Just so you know, we all need self-development. Just some people don't realize it, that's all. We all need self-development. And as he was investing in developing himself, he became all about the dream. All about the dream. Dex Yeager built his business based on dreaming and helping other people to dream. One of his quotes is, don't ever let anyone steal your dream. Ever. Now, I'm sure you see it all the time, just like I do. People steal people's dreams all the time, and they let them. So this is the other quote that I love. Don't let someone who gave up on their dreams talk you out of yours. And I'm here to tell you that that's usually what happens. Someone else who wasn't willing to pay the price. See, ladies and gentlemen, success comes with a price. A great life comes with a price. For those of you out there who are athletes or in physical shape, tip-top shape, it comes with a price. You know that. Eating right, exercising. For those of you who have a great relationship with your spouse, it comes with a price. It's work. Except for my husband, living with me, that's like easy peasy. Truly, everything in life that's worth having comes with a price. And there are some people out there, ladies and gentlemen, who are not willing to pay that price. And if you listen to those who are not willing to pay the price, they will talk you out of your dreams every time. Every time. So one of the things that I love about Dex Yeager is because he didn't start out on the right side of the track. He actually started out on the wrong side of the track. What I love about that is I hear a lot of people, well, when I was growing up, my mommy and my daddy, well, okay, let it go. Let it go. It's time to move on. You're 50 years old now. You choose. You choose. He came from the wrong side of the tracks, was living a life that was less than awesome. He says, don't let someone who has given up on their dreams talk you out of yours. Ladies and gentlemen, his net worth was over $400 million. I want you to stop and think for just a moment. Do you want to take advice from someone who sits at home, does the same thing every day, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch TV, mow the grass, drink their beer, blah, 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 and they're always whining, complaining, moaning about this and about that. And you have something incredible to share with them. You have the most incredible product in the world. You have the most incredible business in the world. They're like, nah, I don't want to hear what you have to say. Don't you know them things don't work? Who are you going to listen to? Bill Britt, 115 million. Dex Yeager, 400 million. I'm just curious. We need to pay attention to who we listen to. But let's move on. I got one other thing, excuse me, 2 other things I'd like to share with you. Birdie. As of 2018, he has made over $100 million in commissions. Now, I want to listen to someone who's made 115 million, 400 million, well over 100 million. And he's made well over 100 million selling veggie vitamins. Please hear me. Please hear me. He's made over $100 million selling veggie vitamins. And what do we have here in Organo? Oh yeah. The #1 legal addiction in the world. As if that's not good enough. It is infused with the king of herbs. We are second to none. Guys, realize what we got here. Realize what we got here. So some of his quotes, you can either make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both. And we know that's the truth, but a lot of us get caught in our excuses. A lot of us get caught and stuck in making excuses. Well, you know, you can make excuses or you can make money. Which would you prefer? One of the questions he asked people, and I absolutely love it, is would you follow you? If you were sampling you about the product, about the business, would you follow you? I bet for a lot of us on the phone, the answer would be no, because we're not consistent in our self-development. We're not consistent in keeping our word to ourselves. We're not consistent in being the best we can be. We're not consistent in pretty much anything in our life. We're not consistent in having a good attitude. So if you wouldn't follow you, why would you expect someone else to? He goes on to say, it's not what happens in life, it's what you do in life. Just like Jim Rohn says, the same wind blows on us all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to know we've all had things happen to us, good and bad. Some of us have had tragic things happen to us. Truly. And I don't make light of that. I do not. Okay. Now what? And please know I don't make light of tragedies. I do not. Grieve, heal, do whatever you need to do. And then it's time for you to live. Truly. And you can't truly live and truly be successful in anything you do. Life, relationships, anything. You can't truly be successful if you're not in self-development. You can't. Because the mass consciousness of negativism will consume you. One of the things he also says is it's not what you say to people when you're sampling, when you're sharing. It's not what you say, but it's how you feel about what you say. So I'm a big advocate on your posture. Posture's everything. If you're not in self-development, you can't have the right posture. If you are not plugged in to your plugged in upline, if you're not plugged in, ladies and gentlemen, to this incredible company, the incredible testimonies, if you're not plugged in, you don't know the truth. You don't know that you have the greatest product in the world. You don't know that you're with the greatest company in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you that we are so blessed to be in Organo. We are so blessed. We have been given Ganoderma hidden in all this product. Yes, we can't say it heals people, so we say it's incredibly healthy for your body because it is proven to be incredibly healthy for your body. It's proven by doctors and scientists. And I'm neither one of those. I believe in what I have. How do I feel about what I'm saying? No doubt, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in what I have. I believe. And when I'm sharing with people, they believe. And guess what? Some of them still don't sign up. Some of them still don't take the product, even though they desperately need it. That's not my call. That's theirs. That's their journey. My responsibility is to share. So another thing that Jeff says is 90% of your people in your teams will be just product consumers. So what does that mean? You must be a product of the product of the product of the product. You must know what you have, because if 90% of your people who join your team are going to end up just product consumers, ladies and gentlemen, it's not all about the business. It's about the products. Know the product, share the products, know the product, share the product, share the business. It's not all about the business, but it is the business. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that those 4 checkers that came into the business for the health, I know his life is going to be turned around because of the health. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I want you guys to understand too that recruiting is a process. It's not an event. It's a process. It's a process. Continues on. It continues on. Ladies and gentlemen, we really get paid for sharing stories. You can't share a story that you don't know. You can't share a testimony that you don't know. We get paid for sharing. Don't you think you should know as much as you can? Don't wait till you know everything. You'll never know everything. Share, share, share. Add massive value to people's lives. Add massive value to people's lives. Get consistent in your work ethic. Get consistent on being you. Stay consistent on the 4 agreements in your life. Stay consistent on being aware that the 4 agreements are a part of your life and you've made a commitment to the 4 agreements to be a part of your life so that you can be the best you that you can be. Keep your attitude in check, ladies and gentlemen. We all have a bad day. I used to have bad weeks. I'm working on just having a bad moment. The better I am, the better you are, the more people you can bless. Truly, truly, truly. The more people you can bless, the better your income, the better the world. Ladies and gentlemen, unite. You must be there for your personal development, for your personal growth, for your business growth, for relationship bonding. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that if you miss Unite, you're missing the boat. We are so humbled and honored and excited to have Paul as the CEO of this company leading this ship. Ladies and gentlemen, he is going to bring Organo to be the biggest and best network marketing company in the world ever, because he has a vision that is unstoppable. He has the knowledge and the wisdom and the income power to back it up, to bring Organo into the world economy like it needs to be. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss Unite. You do not want to miss the information that's going to be shared there. I look forward to seeing you, hugging you, letting you know that I do love you at Unite, August 16th through the 18th. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my extreme pleasure and my honor to share a conversation with you this evening. Good night and God bless.